Good morning, everyone. It's Caitlin. We're at Franklin Park Zoo this morning, as you can see, at our lion exhibit. And we're doing a lion live this morning because yesterday was our lion's birthday. So if any of you were here visiting yesterday, it was a pretty busy day at our zoos. The lion's birthday was yesterday. And I'm not going to tell you their age just yet because we have some trivia that we're going to get into, and that is one of those questions. So we have Dinari here in front of us, and he just came out onto exhibit, and as you can see, he is rolling around. So some of you that may have seen some of our lives before may know that this is some shavings here, and he is rolling all around in it, getting it all in his mane. I think his brother is taking a little bit longer to wake up this morning. Dinari strolled out to check out the enrichment and get some of that warm sun on him because it is a little chilly this morning. So hopefully Kamaia will join us shortly, but we're getting a beautiful shot of Dinari here and him enjoying his morning enrichment. Oh, speak of that, here he comes. Kamaia's coming around the corner here. Gonna check out what his brother is doing and what he's smelling and sniffing. Oh, he's gonna get in the roll too. So, the trivia that we have for these boys, because I'm hoping we have some lion lovers joining us this morning, so we're giving it some time. Oh, brotherly love, rolling around on each other. You can hear the noises. Very funny. So hopefully some of our lion lovers are joining us and know about our brothers and or have seen our lives and our videos about our brothers and know some special information about them and about lions in general. So the first question that I'm going to ask, and please feel free to throw answers into the chat. We'd love to hear from you guys about, oh my gosh, they're so funny, about what you know about our brothers. So, like I mentioned yesterday, was their birthday, March 7th. So, does anyone know how old our lion brothers are? What is their age? And while we're hopefully waiting for some answers to come into the chat, I want to just talk a little bit about lions in their natural range and how long they would live for, which some of you may know. Answers to come into so they live for 15 to 20 years. So in human care, lions do tend to live a longer lifespan than in their natural range because they of course have a lot of threats in their natural range, which we'll talk about in one of our other trivia questions. But here at the zoo, they of course have food provided for them, and they have vet care, and we take the best care that we possibly can of them. So they do tend to live longer lifespans in human care versus in their natural range. So Christopher, our last lion, which many of you probably know, he was very famous here at the zoo. He lived until he was 22 years old. So he lived a very long life here at the zoo. And in their natural range, it would probably be much closer to the 10 to 15 range because of those things that we just talked about. Did we have anyone put any guesses about our brother's age, Rachel?
We did. We had 4 years old. We had 11. So it's kind of a bigger range right now.
Awesome. Well, they are really showing their playful side this morning. So that may make them seem a little bit younger than they are. But this is one of their favorite enrichment items that we have out for them for their birthday this morning. So they're really getting into it. But our brothers turned 12 years old yesterday. So we are very excited about their birthday, and we're hoping that they're going to be with us for many, many more years. just like Christopher was into his 20s. All right, so the next question I have for you all is how many males are usually in a pride? And this may seem like a silly question, but there is kind of a mixed answer a little bit. So I want to see what you guys have to say about how many males are usually in a pride. And the reason I'm asking this question is because, of course, we have 2 males here at the zoo. So it's interesting to learn about. A lot of people ask us about why we have 2 males and how we have 2 males. So we're gonna come over to this side, try to get a little better look, because they're, as you can see, they were looking the other direction there. So if you do have an idea, please put it into the chat. But here at the zoo, these 2 are brothers, of course, so they are able to stay together. If these were 2 males that did not know each other in human care, we most likely would not put them together because they may not get along. But in their natural range in Africa, there is usually, we'll get to how many males in just a second, but a number of males along with females and their young. So something else that people will ask us, because we do have 2 male lions, is do you have a female? And we currently do not have a female, and most likely will not in the time that we have these males, because we have 2 already, and if we were to bring in a 3rd, we would not have enough space that we need for them. And these 2 brothers may decide to fight over that female. So we'd have to be really careful about that. They are part of a species survival plan, meaning that if there was a really good genetic match, there's a chance there would be a recommendation. But they also take into consideration a lot of other factors, like these 2 brothers having a bond and staying together. So that is always a chance. But for right now, we most likely will just have these 2 males and no females coming in. So did anyone put in the chat, Rachel? I almost gave it away like I always do in my answers, of how many males are usually in a pride.
Yes, we had quite a few people say 1, okay, and then we had another say 2.
Awesome. So that is great, because that is usually a lot of times what we talk about. So it's kind of a fact that a lot of people know, that they think that there's only one male in a pride. And in some cases that's true, but a lot of times there actually could be 2 to 3 male lions in a pride. And that could be because they're brothers. It could be because they formed a coalition when they were younger and then they took over a pride. So there can actually be more than 1, which I think is really interesting. Very majestic looking lions this morning in the sun. I love it. So let's go to our next question of what do the lions eat here at the zoo? So we of course get that one a lot. And so some of you may know the answer to this. But in their natural range, they are of course predators and meat eaters. And so they're going to be eating antelope species, zebra, wildebeest. And if females, because they are typically the ones doing the hunting, if females are working together, if it's a pretty large pride and there's several females, there's a chance that they would be able to take down some larger prey, such as probably a smaller sized giraffe, because they could work together. But for the most part, they stick to those medium-sized prey species in Africa. Did we get any guesses coming for that one, Rachel, about what they eat here at the zoo?
We have not gotten any guesses yet, but everyone can feel free to put those in the chat as Caitlin's talking more about those.
So they do eat meat, of course. Did someone just say it?
Yep, someone guessed chicken, red meat, turkey.
Nice. So it is a raw meat here. So it's basically kind of like a ground meat that has all of the nutrients and minerals that they would need from what they would be eating from a full animal in the wild. So that is what they get here. And they each get around 10 pounds per day. So because they are carnivores and they're eating a lot of meat, some of you may know from some of our other lives we talk about with our cats and carnivores who eat a lot of meat, we have what we call a bone day here as well, where they get a bone instead of meat that day so they can let their system kind of clear out, and because it's eating a lot of meat. So typically in their natural range, they would not be eating every single day because hunting can be pretty challenging and they're always going to find food. So they would go some days without eating. So we try to mimic that here as well. All right, next question, which we get a lot, is how many hours a day do lions sleep and rest for? So we get asked that all the time here at the zoo, and we get asked, when are they gonna move? When are they gonna be more active? And just how I was talking about in the last question, that females do the hunting, males spend a lot of time in Africa laying on the savannah. So they are the ones that are going to stay back and protect their territory. So what you see when you come to the zoo which is usually them kind of lounging around out on exhibit, is what they would be doing in their natural range, because they're an apex predator. Most things are not trying to eat them, especially a male lion. Cubs may be ones that are going to be preyed upon, but when you're in a large pride of lions with strong males, then not many things are going to be trying to get you either. So they're able to lounge out in the middle of the savannah. Whereas other cats, such as leopards and cheetahs, don't necessarily have that luxury because they are not the strongest cat out there. So they need to keep their distance from the lions as well, and usually kind of hide from them and not be out in the open like that. So did anyone have any guesses of how many hours per day?
We had a 6 hours. We have a 20.
Ooh, 20. Perfect. Whoever guessed 20, that is exactly it about of how much they sleep and rest throughout the day. So as you can see here, when they came out this morning, they were pretty excited to see that shavings and rolled all around. Now they're kind of checking things out. They're smelling and sniffing. And eventually they may move around the exhibit, and then they'll find a spot to kind of just rest. And that's what you will see. So if anyone is coming to visit the zoo today, I'd love to see where you see them when you come. But they may find a spot to rest, maybe in the sun, because it's a colder day today. They also may go up on their heated rock to get some warmth there. All right, and usually when our male lions come out, they're not super vocal this morning, but they may roar. And many of you have probably heard that. So the next question is, how many miles can their roar be heard from? So a lot of people also ask us, why do they roar? And it is for a bunch of different reasons, but the biggest one is marking their territory, letting everyone in the savannah know that this is their territory. Do not come and bother them, and they are in control of it. Other reasons could be for mating, could be for communication with other lions, but the biggest one, because you'll see how loud it is, some of you that have come to the zoo know how loud it is, that it is really telling everyone else that they are in charge of that territory.
And while we're on that topic real quick, let's see, Diane asked, how many sounds do they make? Do they make other sounds besides roaring?
Oh, great question. So roaring would probably be their dominant sound that they make. But as you heard when they came out, when they were kind of rolling around together in the shavings, they kind of made some other vocalizations there towards each other. So because they are a group animal that lives in a pride, they would communicate with each other, especially males and females and their young. But the biggest sound that they'll make is the roar. but they will communicate within the group with each other.
Oh. And we have had a few guesses.
Ooh, awesome.
So we had 2 miles, 5, 10. I think there was a 16 somewhere.
Oh, nice. So it's about 3 miles. I read a few that said up to 5 miles, so 3 to 5 miles could be the range. So here at the zoo, it's really cool. We've had some of our neighbors to the zoo come and visit, and they say that they can hear it when they're at home. Because that's how far you can hear it. And up in my office, even though of course I'm at the zoo, I can always hear them in the morning when they come out. I'm like, oh, there are the boys, they're up this morning. So they usually will make those vocalizations right when they come out onto exhibit. This morning they're having a little peaceful morning, a very zen morning. All right, just a few more questions because you guys are really rocking these answers. About how much do our lions weigh? If anyone has any guesses about that. So I'll give you a little bit of a hint. In their natural range, male lions can weigh up to 500 pounds and females 300 plus pounds. There of course can be a range there, but that is on their on the heavier side for them, kind of what they can get up to. And their eating style is a little different because they may go a few days without eating, like I was mentioning before. So once they do have a meal, once the females do catch, whether it's a wildebeest or a zebra, and then the whole pride is feasting on it, they eat a lot of food at once. And if you've seen any of the documentaries in Africa, you'll see that, or been to Africa, you'll see that their stomachs get huge after they eat that meal. So here at the zoo, of course, since we are able to feed them every day, we don't have to feed them a ton of food one day and not feed them for the next few days. We're able to space it out because we know we are able to give them that food, versus how in their natural range, they have to hunt. So you never know when you're gonna be able to get that meal or not. So did we have any guesses come through for the weight?
Yes, so we had one that was a range, 300 to 500. Mm-hmm. We had 400 pounds. We had 550 pounds.
Nice. So Dinari, who's the one that's right in front here.
And a 350.
I think they may have switched on me. But Dinari is about 460 pounds. And Kamaia is about 500 pounds. So he is a little bit bigger than Dinari. In how we weigh them here at the zoo, that's probably something people are interested in, is we have a scale in their inside space that they have worked with their trainers on how to step up onto that scale and get some treats for that. It's part of their training program to be able to get those weights on them, because it's really important for us to monitor their weights and know how much they weigh and be able to potentially change their diet if we need to, depending on what their weight is. All right, guys, we got 2 more questions. Good ones here. This one might be hopefully one, if you've been watching since the beginning and some of our other lives, you'll be able to answer. Of what enrichment do they seem to enjoy most? So enrichment is anything that we are able to put out either onto exhibit or in their inside spaces that stimulates them mentally and physically. So he's checking out what his brother's doing over there. So as we talked about before, since they do tend to rest a lot of the day, the best chance to see them being active is right when they're coming out to exhibit. Like how I was mentioning, when they'll roar, or when if there is enrichment items out here, they're gonna wanna come and see that. So that is why we are out here this morning before the zoo opens, to make sure that we were able to get them coming out onto exhibit and a little bit of action from our lions this morning. Did anyone have any guesses, Rachel?
Ruth had guessed spices.
Ooh, very nice.
Good one.
So the biggest one, which is why we have it out here this morning and for their birthday, is those shavings. So hay or shavings, kind of bedding from some of our other animals, such as our zebras or antelope, or sometimes red river hog. They have, the smell is from those other animals on it, and the lions seem to really enjoy to explore that, and clearly, as you saw from the beginning, roll around in it. So they really enjoy the scents, kind of like a lot of cats do. So spices is a great one too. The different scents they can put out onto the exhibit for them to find, and usually end up rolling around in it. Some of you that have cats at home probably find that too, that they really enjoy the scents. And one thing that the keepers have told me is that in their behind the scenes space, like probably some of your cats at home, they enjoy tearing up boxes as well. So that's something else that they enjoy. All right, so we're going to our last question. Thanks for sticking with us and answering our questions about our lions this morning. So what are lions' biggest threats in Africa? That's the question we are going to end with. So one conservation organization that we've had a connection with for our lions is the Lion Conservation Fund. And they have worked with us very closely, which has been amazing, and come to the zoo and helped us with resources. So they are an organization that is working in Kenya on the ground with helping lions. They are classified as vulnerable, which means that their numbers are declining, and we do really need to be paying attention to helping them so that their numbers do not continue to decline. And another piece is that at the zoo, because we are an AZA institution, we have the SAFE initiative, which is Saving Animals from Extinction. And there are a group of animals on that list, and lion is one of them. So there is a lot of work being done with that group to help save the lion species. So we participate in that and help support that effort to help save the lions. So did anyone put in the chat what their biggest threat might be?
Yeah, we've had some good guesses. We've had poachers, hunters, hyenas, elephants.
Oh, nice. So poachers, absolutely. So the animal ones are quite interesting because they could be a potential threat. But as I was mentioning before, with them being such large predators, not much is going to be hunting them. If they are young cubs, potentially, but the pride is going to protect them. So not much is going to prey upon them, which is why they can kind of be out in the middle of the savannah and do what they want to do. But the biggest threats are habitat loss and poaching. So poaching for meat, but also for different body parts. People want their teeth and their nails and their fur and manes. So that is a really big one. And because they are out in the open in the savannah, it's actually pretty easy for those poachers to do that. So that is why conservationists are really working to help protect them, protect their habitat, and make sure that there are rules and laws in place against that hunting, so that can hopefully stop happening and we can keep our lion numbers nice and safe. All right,
Thanks.
So thank you guys so much for sticking with us. Those were really amazing answers and we appreciate them all. We definitely have some people who know our lions very well. So hopefully if you are gonna come join us at the zoo, you can wish the lions a happy birthday and come check them out in the sun today. But otherwise, hopefully we'll see all of you soon. Bye.